just like I told Amy's dad, and everyone was saying that's not Alabama, but I didn't say that. They've had a new coach the past 3 years, and they've gotten better every year. That guy, I believe. We already have. I don't have any mention to keep you guys really full. Oh yeah, let's go. So did no one throw goals over time? Oh, Jake. Wait, it wasn't Tyler. Oh. Oh, really? That sounds like I made the wise choice of staying on me. Well, you're not going to advertise on that.
Lily says, I think we're not really just based on it from far away, and she thinks they fall on that. So was there, yeah, which is interesting because usually, I mean, you're doing up there now, and that's the comfort, 30 years.
Yeah.
And they only went the last week, and you're from us, and it'll be interesting to see if they. Yeah, they always come the last week. So they came on Wednesday. You know, they just got in. They can hear.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's are you seeing the elevator?
And planes in the sky over there. That's crazy.
The other day, I was going back up to him. I got a receiver from my house, but then he never found. Oh my God, he was moving down.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad you all could be here this morning, of course, as we celebrate Shabbat together and as we celebrate Cole Wallis becoming a bar mitzvah. Oh, that's super loud. So, before we begin, I also want to welcome everyone who is watching from our live stream or over Facebook. And I want to just acknowledge from the very beginning that this is not what any of us planned for. That when we first set Cole's bar mitzvah date many years ago, we all imagined, of course, that this room was going to be filled with people and family and friends, and it is hard. It's hard to be here and to know that so many of the people who you want to celebrate with, they are celebrating with you. They are watching from home, but it's different not being able to have them here. But the amazing thing that we have found through this pandemic is that even just being able to celebrate with a few people in this space, it helps us all realize just how amazing of a leader and a young man you are. Because this morning you are really going to lead this service by yourself. By being up here alone on the bima, I will be sitting over there, but it takes a special kind of courage and independence that we don't usually ask or expect from a 13-year-old, but Cole, you are going to be able to do it, and we are so very proud of you. So knowing that you have people from all over the country and your camp friends and your school friends and other family watching from all corners of the world, we are all here to support you as you lead us in this morning's service and tell a little bit about what you have learned. So it is my pleasure to invite you up to lead us this morning. Yamon Yehoshua ben Chava v'Yaakov habar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Our service begins on page 170 in the Blue Prayer Book. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness, as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage, may I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know. Enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done, so may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes. Please turn to page 195 and rise for the call to worship.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yoter or uvrei choshech, oseh shalom, uvrei et hakol. Hame'ir la'aretz v'ladarim, alecha berachamim, uvtuvo mechodesh bechol yom tamid, ma'aseh bereshit. Ma'arebu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita, mal'ach ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach me'oseh yadecha ve'al me'orei, or she'asita yefa arucha selah. Or hadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nizke kulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch ata Adonai yotzer ham orot. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch ata Adonai yotzer ham orot. We join in singing the Shema at the top of page 200.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
And we continue with the words of the Ve'ahavta on page 201. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shachbacha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. Leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem leElohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. On 203, sing the song of men and women, join in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, osefele. And I'll ask you all, if you will now, to please rise on page 205 for the words of tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chasei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומציל אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. למען אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teachers, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו הוא מכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. So, Cole, last night during services, I mentioned something sort of funny that has been happening recently, which is that there must be a number of different schools in the area that are doing comparative religions in middle school right now, because I have gotten all of these calls and emails from 7th and 8th graders who want to learn about Judaism. And so I have like a running list of emails of students that I'm responding to, and what they want to know is, what do we pray about and what happens in a service? And so for the most part, whatever I say to them, they find pretty boring, which is okay. They're 7th and 8th graders. And so I say, well, you know, we pray for peace and we pray for healing and, you know, we thank God. But then I say, you know what happens on a Saturday morning, though, is that we have someone who is your age, someone who is in 7th grade, reading from the Torah. And that, of course, gets them every time. Because what people don't realize who haven't read Torah before is just how incredibly challenging and cool it is. Because while the prayers are here in the prayer book, they're even transliterated, even though I know the version you were reading from didn't have the transliteration, but reading from a Torah is very different. Because when you're reading from the Torah, you are reading these words that have been handwritten, that they have no vowels and no punctuation and no tune, that everything that you are doing today is incredibly challenging. but you have worked so hard to rise to this challenge. And so when you do this, when you read from the Torah, you are joining in a long line of members of your family and of the Jewish people who for thousands of years have read from a text that looks exactly like the one that you're reading to today. And so to symbolize that this isn't just you reading today, but this is all the generations of your family, even those who can't physically be here with us, we're going to actually pass the Torah from one generation to the next. So to do that, I'm going to first ask your mom and your sister to come and take the Torah from the ark, and ask everyone else to please rise. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Lahar Kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Lahar Kodsho. And I'll ask Jason and Lynn if you guys will join Cole in front. Beautiful, Mia, you are doing great. So we are going to pass the Torah from one generation to the next. Ki emetzion tetzei Torah, Ki emetzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagedula V'Hagibur. You can take the Torah back, and we're going to address it now. Beautiful. L'chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, l'chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, v'minaseh l'chol rosh. Please be seated. So the Torah blessings that Cole is going to be reading first are on page 250.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher. Wait, can I start over? Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Ve'elech toldot Yitzhak ben Avraham, Avraham holid et Yitzhak. Vayehi Yitzhak ben 40 shana bekachto et Rivka bat Betuel ha'arami mi Padan Aram Acho Lavan ha'arami lo la'isha Vaye'ater Yitzhak lenochach ishto ki akara hiv Vaye'ater lo Adonai v'tehar Rivka ishto Vayitrotzetzu habanim bekirba v'tomer im kain lama zeh anochi v'telech lidrosh et Adonai Vayomer Adonai la shnei goyim bevitnach u'shnei leumim mime'ayich yiparidu ul'om mil ye'ematz varav ya'avod tza'ir ve'im le'u yamecha la'ledet v'hinei tomim bevitnach vayetze harishon admoni kulo ke'aderet se'ar vayikre'u shemo Esav. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So it's now our tradition to lift the Torah so everyone can see it. So we're going to invite your father up to lift the Torah. We can see the words you just read so beautifully. V'zot haTorah asher sa Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. This is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel, God's word through the hand of Moses. Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hana'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'moshech avdo u'b'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'atzedek. Masa devar Adonai el Yisrael b'yad malachi. Ahavti etchem amar Adonai va'amartem bama ha'ahavtanu halo ach Esav leYaakov ne'um Adonai va'ohav et Yaakov. Ve'et Esav saneti va'asim et harav shemama ve'et Nahalato Letanot Midbar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, for the prophets, and for the Shabbat that you, Adonai our God, have given us for holiness and rest, for honor and glory, we thank you and bless you. May your name be blessed forever by every living being. Praise to you, Adonai, for the Sabbath and its holiness.
Amen.
My Torah portion is about the story of two brothers, Jacob and Esau. They are twins, but Esau is older by a few minutes, so he's supposed to get all the privileges, birthright, and blessings. While Rebekah is pregnant, she is in pain and asks God, "What is happening?" God says there are two nations inside of you. The younger will rule over the older. She believes that God is meant for Jacob to have those special privileges, so they trick Isaac, the boy's dad, into giving those blessings to Jacob. The brothers don't have much in common. They have different skills and enjoy different activities. Esau grew up as a hunter, while Jacob grew up helping Rebekah around the house more. Esau is closer to his dad, while Jacob is closer to his mom. But despite their differences, each has their own role in the family. At first, I thought giving the older child more privileges was unfair. I think parents should love their children equally and shouldn't have favorites. However, it is natural for kids to develop special bonds with each parent that are different. That doesn't mean that one is loved more than the other, but they are loved differently because each child is different. Since I grew up with only two children in my family, I see some similarities to the story about Jacob and Esau. Being younger, I can relate more to Jacob, like the brothers. My sister and I have different roles in our family too, and we each have different relationships with our parents. When I help my mom, it's usually in the house, making dinner, or taking care of Turtle, our dog. When I help my dad, it's usually outside, maybe at the farm, or on a tractor. Sometimes it feels like my sister gets more privileges than I do because she's older, but I know sometimes she thinks I'm the one that gets more privileges. I think that the story of Jacob and Esau is included in the Torah because it shows us how life isn't always fair. But that doesn't mean that people can't get what they want or what they need. In the end of the story, Esau tells Jacob that he's going to kill him, and Jacob runs away from his family. That's a warning to us of how bad outcomes can happen if parents create a situation where sibling rivalry comes out of control. To me, becoming a bar mitzvah means that I'm growing up and I'm becoming a more active part of my family. Instead of everyone taking care of me, I can take on more responsibility. I'm ready for a bigger role in my family and to give back to others. My older cousins used to always help take care of me and the younger cousins. After Mia's bat mitzvah, I saw her start helping out more, and I feel like I'm ready to help out more too. I am also excited that I get to be a big brother now. Since we're discussing siblings, I would like to talk about my sister Mia. We do fight at times, but I know she has my back. She's a great help with all my homework, and although she treats me like a brat, I know she loves me, and I love her very much. Other important people in my life are Grandma Diane and Mima, and my pop and my grandpa Peter or Pop. I love to take the 5-hour drive to visit Mima in Chicago and have fun in the Windy City, and visiting Pop and Judy in Arizona for the holidays is always the best. Love you both. Nana, thank you for always being there for me and for our family. You always give me, Mia, and all of our cousins your love and your time, and I love you so much. Carol, you're simply the best. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your amazing understanding of Judaism. You make me want to learn more about Judaism and have helped me through this whole thing. Rabbi Amy, thank you for helping me pull the final touches together for my ceremony and being with me today. Dad, thank you for always being by my side, for helping me with anything that was needed for becoming a bar mitzvah. You are always so much fun to be with, whether we are skiing, surfing, or out at the farm. You always make me feel me feel loved and safe. I love you so much. Brooke, I'm glad you and Weston are in my life. Matt, thank you for being so supportive and trying to stay with me. Mom, thank you for taking care of all the details and planning for today. You always make me laugh and cook the best meals for me and Mia. I love that you teach me so much, like decorating and working out and so much more. I love you so much, and you make me feel like I can tell you anything. Thank you for making today so special. And to my family, you were always there for me and love me no matter what. And just like today, whether you're here in person or with me online, you will always be by my side to celebrate life. Thank you so much.
I actually wrote something down, and I don't even have it with me now. For me, as I didn't need to write anything down, and for some reason for Cole's, I felt like I needed to. Mia made a comment yesterday that it's all about Cole. And this weekend, it is all about Cole. You have worked so hard. You've put time in, and you've really done an amazing job through the process of preparing for your bar mitzvah. And even though it wasn't like we planned, you were up here, you did incredible. Everyone here is proud of you, and everyone watching is proud of you too. From the time you were born at 11/11 on your pop's birthday, we knew that you were something else. There's always been something otherworldly about you. You're truly an old soul, we say that all the time. And your wisdom goes way beyond your years. You have a huge heart, and I hope that you always follow it, because you're one of the smartest kids I know, one of the smartest people I know. Your pearls of wisdom that you share with us. You, for a 13-year-old, you give incredible advice. So I hope you never change. I'm so proud of you today. I'm proud of you every day. But you did an unbelievable job today. You should feel incredible. I love you, bud.
I have to try and say something without crying, because I'm so happy for you. We're so proud of you, Cole, and the work that you do to study the Torah, and Rabbi Amy, and the support that she's given you, and the support that Carol's given you has really propelled you, and you just did an awesome job with the Torah. But more importantly, we see, and everybody here, and everybody at home, and Pop and Mima and Brooke, they know what kind of person you are, and everybody loves you. And we see you growing and making those changes. And it's not only, it's the learning and the studying you do here, but it's becoming a young man, and you've already been doing that. And that's something that we see. Mom sees it, I see it, and everybody here that's involved in your life sees how much of a young man you're becoming. And we're also very proud of you. We love you, buddy.
So Paul, this is a big day, not just for your family, but your congregational family. But since we're all kind of connected, I get to invite your Aunt Rachel up to present a gift to you on behalf of the congregation.
We are so proud of you, Cole. You are an amazing person. And when you were born on our dad's birthday in what Tyler, Megan, Jacob called Pop, you were born 6 years after he died. And we knew you would be an extra special person. And your heart is so big, and like your mom said, your mind is always open to the possibilities of the future. And just like last night when we got to share the Zoom with all your family and friends, everybody's so supportive of you, and we love you so much. And just like all your family and friends love you, your TI community loves you as well. And we're just so proud that you've embraced Judaism, that you spent all these hours with Carol and Rabbi Amy to really understand what you were reading in the Torah and put it in a personal way in your life. And I hope that just like you're so comfortable with all your family and friends and all your camp friends, that you will also find that Temple Israel is your home, and that you will always feel comfortable here and continuing the learning that you started, which has made it so amazing for everybody. And so here is a small gift for you, so you can always remember your home here as well. Thank you. Love you.
Should I open it now?
All right, so Cole, I get to give you a few other things. So first, a little certificate that you signed before we came in here, so that indeed we will always remember today, Cole Wallis, you became a bar mitzvah. I also get to give you this gift certificate that will help you on a trip to Israel if you are going to Israel in the next few years. And I know your family has made a number of trips before. This one is for a teen tour, so you don't even have to go with your family. You could just go with your friends. Either way, it's going to be awesome. So, before the service today, I was remembering that I met you in the hospital just a few days after you were born, which in retrospect, I'm sorry, that's so weird. I really didn't know you guys at all because I had just started here, and it's a little bit weird to have a stranger come into the hospital. So that's a 13-year-old apology. Sorry about that. But I do actually remember going into the hospital and thinking just what a chill baby you were. Because even then, you already did, just as your parents and your Aunt Rachel talked about, you had this sense that you, even then, it was like you were an old soul. And I didn't know that you were born on your pop's birthday, and how remarkable, because Judaism really does teach us that there is such a thing as passing on one person's soul from one to the next. And how remarkable even more that your Torah portion is called Toldot, which means generations, and is supposed to remind us that, in fact, from one generation to the next, that really the spirit of our people can pass down from grandparent to parent to child. One of my favorite parts in your Torah portion, though, there's this line, and you mention it in the beginning of your speech, and it's when Rebecca she's just having a very hard time, and she says, Im ken lama zeno anochi, which means like, it's a weird sort of Hebrew, but it means like, if it's going to be like this, what is the point? Because her life is so hard, and she just can't see why she should go forward. But the point of the whole rest of the Torah portion is that she does. Is that even though it's hard, she keeps working, and she ends up becoming this matriarch of the Jewish people. And I think it's a teaching that is so beautifully exemplified by your family and by what you did today, by saying sometimes things are going to be really, really hard. And like you said in your Devar Torah, sometimes things are not going to be fair. But if you keep working, and you keep holding yourself to the high expectations that I know you and your family have for you, that you are going to meet those goals. And I will say that my favorite moment of your bar mitzvah is when you ask to redo the Torah blessing. Because that's exactly what it takes, is having this moment when you're like, that was hard, it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to go, and having the courage and the comfort to be like, I'm going to start it over again. And you did, and it was beautiful and perfect. And it takes that kind of self-confidence to be able to say, sometimes it's going to be hard, sometimes it's not going to be easy straight from the beginning, but you just keep going, and that's going to make you a success. So at this moment in our service, it's a tradition to give something called the priestly blessing. Now, if these were different times, I would be able to stand here and put my hands on your shoulders, which I know that I can't do, but we're going to do it symbolically. So what I'm going to ask is if I can invite everyone to please rise, because we're all going to give you this blessing together. It's called a priestly blessing, but you don't have to be a rabbi or a priest to do it. And it's the same one that I gave you when you were a baby, and it's another one that I gave you when you started religious school, and it is one that I may even one day give you underneath the chuppah once you find that perfect partner a long, long time from now, so don't worry about that, but it's going to be the same blessing. So with this blessing, it's a tradition that we sort of put our arms over you. If you want, you can do this, because it's the Jewish tradition, but you don't have to. It's kind of hard to do with your fingers, but if we can all sort of lift our hands over Cole, so it's like we're giving him this giant hug from our seats. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's countenance be lifted over you. May you be granted with wholeness and with peace. And Cole, my friend, Mazel Tov, you did it. So I'm going to have you stay risen, and we are going to return our Torah to the ark. By the way, Jason, that was a very impressive lifting of the Torah. I may hire you in the future. That was kind of awesome. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim. Shlosha devarim alam halam omed, al Torah va'al avoda va'al gemilut chasadim, al Torah va'al avoda va'al gemilut chasadim. And so at this time, we are going to turn back to our prayer books for the words of the Aleinu, which can be found on page 282. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, l'tetz gedola leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'artzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. Shelo samchakenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, L'melech kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. And so because in every service we are thinking of Toldot, we are thinking of the generations, we turn now to those who have left us. And I know in particular we are thinking of your pop, we are thinking of Bill Wallace, and knowing that he really is here with us today. And so, remembering him and all those who we have lost, we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma divarach chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach la'alam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemei de Kudasha, Barichu, Laela, Min Kol, Birchata, Vashirata, Tushbachata, Vanechamata, Amiran, Ba'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehe Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. So, Cole, my friend, you have just about done it. The last thing we have to do, so that you guys can go and you can have a little luncheon after this, is we're going to invite your cousins up to help lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. So that's Kate and Molly and Charlie and Megan and Tyler and Jacob. And I know that Lily and Noah are watching from home. And Mia, you're allowed to come up too. We'll take sisters also.
Are we taking it off? Take our masks off. Take your mask off.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher peri hadafen. It's been a while.
Are you serious?
It's great for this shot.
Why not? Drink it. Are we ready?
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, our motzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
Stand close to each other.
Close stand in the middle.
We'll get in the middle. Holy Bible.